Okay, so now we're getting into the meat of the presentation. This is really where we start to focus in on actually building links to your money site. And this is where we start to talk about how to build links, where to get links from, and the actual mechanics of where and how to think about link building to give it the biggest end result and to make the safest scenario to protect you from some of these Google updates and to get more of that dynamic that I showed you where Google updates will occur and you'll actually get benefit from them rather than losing traffic. So the first thing that we want to talk about is that all links are definitely not created equal. I actually presented a different array of links here where I called platinum, gold, silver, and bronze. And these different links have different values associated with them. The value tends to be associated with actually how difficult they are. Platinum links being natural links from high-ranking websites, high page ranked, and I call these earned links, right? These are going to be the hardest ones to earn, and these are going to be the ones that will require either picking up a phone, building really, really great content, taking time to actually go out and build relationships with people. These are going to be ones that you actually get built over time, last a super long time, but generate a ton of value from you. You can actually get these links. These links take the most work. The second group is the gold links, right? These are bought links from high-ranking websites. They could be bought from non-brokers. They could be bought from some of the relationships that you've built. These could be guest posts. These could be links that you've gone out and found. Or in some cases, as we'll talk about, these could be links that you actually create yourself. These could be links from portfolios or from platforms that you build on your own. Gold links are great links. They have a ton of value associated with them, and a gold link could potentially even turn into a platinum link. Now, the next group are definitely more accessible. These are what I'm going to call silver links. These are in-topic directories, free or paid. So if I have a niche on hiking, then I'll find a directory that's about great hiking spots across the United States. Or if I have a blog about fishing, I'll have good websites for fishing directories, right? There's always those options out there. Some of them are paid, some of them are free. This is the only category of directories which I would still consider to be somewhat valid. The same could be said with blog commenting. There's definitely a place for blog commenting on a very, very large scale, and we'll talk about that. But in-topic blog comments or interacting with other people's, which seem to be authorities on the same topic that you're trying to market in, if you see niches like that have blogs that are really strong, interact with those bloggers, comment on those posts, and when possible, connect those posts to your website. I'm not talking about spamming those blogs, but I am talking about on-topic blog comments where you have a back and forth. So if somebody goes through and puts on a great post about bass fishing, then I'll go through, I'll write a piece of content on what types of lakes are great for bass, and then I'll comment on that and say, hey, I wrote this piece on great places to go out and fish for bass, and here's the article, right? So it's a back and forth where you put some time and effort into it, and you build out a blog comment that'll actually stick. Same thing for social mentions. So if there's actually great groups out there, if there's LinkedIn groups or Facebook groups, if people are talking about the type of thing that your niche is surrounding, make sure that you're interacting there. So use Hootsuite, use Google Alerts to track those mentions, and when they get mentioned, go through and make sure that you're present there. Same thing happens with websites. Now, these are silver links. These are actually still fairly attainable, probably more so than both platinum and gold. And then we have our bronze link category. They're bronze because these are the easiest ones to get. Article submissions, directory submissions, blog networks, Web 2.0, profile links, forum blogs, forum links. These are all super easy to get. There's tools to do it, and you can manually do it yourself. The value is very, very different, okay? Platinum is the hardest. Bronze links are by far the easiest. But the other thing that you have to think about is that they're different values too. So platinum, gold, and silver are higher value and generally contribute more link juice. Bronze links are more for indexing, for boosting rank. So if I look across this portfolio, I'm going to use these for different purposes, and I'm going to talk about these. And this is where balancing your risk comes in. Now, one of the cool things that I saw is that this picture shows a really, really great graphic of what it actually means to be an SEO today. It says white hat. Just because you follow the rules doesn't mean you can't rank for competitive terms. Oh, wait. Yes, it does. So all SEOs know there's a really fine line between black hat and white hat this time. So there's a lot of gray. The trick to today's application of SEO is knowing where and how to play more in the black and still stay safe. So this is a graphic that I put together to talk a little bit about how to achieve that balance, right? So if we take the top of the graphic here, and that's your main website, that's your money website, and I'm going to start to introduce this topic of tiered linking. Now, when I talk about these different tiers, I'm talking literally about how do you actually balance your link building efforts and how do you focus on the types of links that you're trying to push in a way that's going to shelter your main website from Google updates to make sure that when a panda or a penguin comes through, that the types of links that you've built and the types of SEO that you've executed on isn't going to put you into a situation where you actually are going to risk losing everything that you've built. Now, Tier 1 is literally what it means. It's a link that's developed that's one step away from your website. So a customer comes in, clicks on that link Tier 1, and actually ends up on your website. That is a direct association with your website. So a bad link on Tier 1 immediately associates your website with a bad neighborhood. That's not necessarily something that you want to really take too many chances with. So if you're actually going to go out and get some of those easy links like directories or articles or blogs or Web 2.0s, then those bronze links need to stay far away from your website whenever possible. So I'm going to focus on both platinum links and gold links here. I'm going to earn links, and I'm going to build out really good, credible links using those two types of link properties, which I'll talk about. And the same thing could be said for Tier 2. Tier 2 is not very far from my website. From the standpoint of Google, right, my overall footprint on the web is only 2 clicks away from my main website. And if they see a lot of funky stuff happening at Tier 2, it's not too far for them to get to my website. So it's not necessarily easy for you to say that if I take some chances and I build out a whole bunch of really easy links, which may potentially set some flags in Google down the road, that may come to bite me later down the line. So I still focus on both these gold and silver type links at Tier 2. Now, Tier 3 is literally where I'm going to actually take some chances and really start to pump into this engine, right? I'm going to build a lot of directory submissions, a lot of Web 2.0 links, a lot of social bookmarking, a lot of the very easy links that I can automate are going to fall into the Tier 3 category. Now, I'm going to talk about why and how this works because it's really important that you execute on this the right way to both shelter yourself from changes in Google going down the line, but also really beef up the value of your Tier 2 and Tier 1 links to make them even more powerful in passing link juice. So here's a classical two-tiered linking format. 2 tiers being only a portion of what I just showed you. Now the point of this tiered linking format is literally just to pass rank, right? Now this format's really, really good because what it allows us to do is it allows us to scale really, really rapidly, right? Tier 2 links are very, very easy to get relative to Tier 1 links. So it's either I can go out and I can build one Tier 1 link over 6 months' time by building a great relationship, or I can go out and I could put out a WordPress site which has some really great content on it, and then I can go out with these Tier 2 links and I can submit some articles maybe, or I could submit some Web 2.0 sites, or I could submit to some topical directories, and I can point those to my Tier 1 link, and instead of going out and building this great relationship with a blogger, which takes me 6 months and I have to pick up the phone and I have to schmooze this person just to get this one link, what I'm actually doing is I'm building a Tier 1 quality link by pushing link weight from Tier 2 down to Tier 1. So whereas my Tier 1 link before might have been worth 2 points, I'm actually going to push link value down from Tier 2. I'm going to increase the value of my Tier 1 link to, say, 5 points, and then what I develop is a very strong Tier 1 without actually having to go out and do all the heavy lifting that most people will tend to do with a Tier 1 type link that's really close to your website. So Tier 2 increases the value of Tier 1, and Tier 1 is sheltered from any kind of nonsense that happens at the Tier 2 level. It keeps it further away from my website. Now, when I expand this model out to a 3-tiered system, it gets really clear exactly what the purpose of this system becomes. Tier 3 links are really there to boost the value of Tier 2 links. Tier 2 links boost the value of Tier 1 links. Tier 1 links increase in total value, pushing all of that funnel down into the website. Tier 3 links strictly exist to help my Tier 2 links get noticed, right? They're there for indexing, they're there for pushing small amounts of rank, they're there for making sure my Tier 2 link has any associated value with it. So as a Tier 3 link shows up, it becomes valuable. It helps Tier 2 links become more valuable. That value transfers to a Tier 1, and the Tier 1 becomes twice as more powerful as it was before I introduced that Tier 3. Now again, remember, Tier 3 links are the ones that are the easiest to get. So it's very, very easy for me to build out that top tier. That second tier tends to be relatively easy for me to build out. And that third tier, I'm building much smaller numbers, but I'm building up the quality of those numbers by pushing link weight down the system. So the benefits of tiered linking are you're creating link value where there was none or very little before. You're controlling the value of these links at this point. So instead of actually just sitting around and waiting for these things to happen or trying to build these things out manually, you're actually making things happen instead of waiting for them. You're amplifying your signal at will, but this also shelters your money site from changes in Google rank. So overall, you're increasing the number of unique domains and increasing the number of unique IPs in your network if you're doing this properly. Now remember, one of the things that I talked about with that SteelSeries versus Logitech example is that the site authority of those two domains were vastly different. So the SteelSeries domain, fewer unique domains, fewer unique IPs, very drastic difference in domain authority between Logitech and between SteelSeries, which basically drove the difference in rank in that particular scenario. So by building up overall site authority, I put myself in a better position to actually outrank a site just based off of using this type of schema alone. I'm diversifying my link portfolio to a much broader base. So next we're going to talk about actually applying these things at the different tiers that we approach. So we'll do Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 before we actually finalize and talk about some automation methods.